Hey there everybody, Eric from Outer Limitless coming at you today with what I'm going to call kind of like an outdoor lifestyle maintenance product. Now, typically, I'm an outdoor channel. I cover outdoor gear and things to get to the outdoors, and part of my outdoor life, well, it's my dogs. But my dogs, they have a little bit of a fur problem, and today, well, I have a product that's going to help me deal with this. If you're into the outdoor lifestyle and you need to clean up after that outdoor lifestyle, having an upright cordless wand style vacuum could be a perfect solution. And this here is the V500 from Uwant. Now, Uwant reached out to me to see if I'd be interested in taking a look at their products. And in full disclosure, I'd already been using kind of like a cheaper version of what they offered. And when I saw this upright vacuum, I was like, oh, this is not only perfect, it's perfect and it's awesome. And I'm hoping you're going to enjoy this today. First of all, this has a docking station. It gives you the ability literally to plop this right on the docking station. It sucks all of the debris out of the canister, keeps it nice and clean, fully topped off, charged, and ready to go. That's the biggest advantage. Whereas with the competitor, well, you can see this is still chock full of my dog's fur, and I need to maintain this myself. With the Uwant, it's literally doing a huge amount of the maintenance for me. Very nice construction, excellent battery life, some attachments that make my job super easy, and that's what we're here to talk about today. And so if you like what you see here today, do me a favor, look in the description box below where you can find your own Uwant products. Not only the V500, but they have a ton of different styles of vacuums and things that I think could really help you. Again, if you're into the outdoor lifestyle and you just need the ability to clean up after your mess, this could be a great brand and product line for you.
Now right away you'll see that the V500 does come with some excellent attachments. Here I'm using the largest brush head. This is powered, and it does a fantastic job at not only picking up the debris, but illuminating it in the first place. It has a very bright and powerful light, which does a few things. It really highlights the dust. And here you can see just how much dust really is on the floor. Sometimes it's hard to see it with the naked eye, but that green light doing a fantastic job to highlight. And even more so, it actually casts a shadow, which helps you to see dust and dirt, different debris, and really hone in on your ability to pick it up. So that green light is very effective, and it works very well in low light as well as brighter conditions. This is an extremely lightweight and maneuverable package overall. It is extremely effective. It's great at identifying the areas where you need to perform the work. The only thing I can say is, well, I just wish it would fix the scratches on the floor. Not only do these dogs leave me dirt, dust, and debris, but man, are they scratching up the place. Hey, you know, that's called living life. Can't always live in a museum. You might as well enjoy it.
The Uwant V500 self-emptying stick vacuum. This has become, for me, an absolutely essential cleaning tool. This is lightweight, pretty much hassle-free. It empties itself, which is fantastic. It has attachments, and I'm going to go through the setup of this very quick. User's manual, filter, attachments, more attachments, more attachments, the wand, battery, power supply, vacuum body, charging station, and the auto-emptying station, and the base. Instructions are very basic. First, installing the base. Power cord plugs in kind of to the top of the unit. So as you can see here, it would be interesting to see how that works out kind of in my home, depending on the power layout and where things are going to plug in, but that should be fine. And I'd say it's actually probably better off being high because you can always run it down. But if it was down low, you kind of would run out of cable length to get it higher up. So you actually gain a couple of feet of cable length by it being mounted higher up. The attachments sit right down on the base. So that is extremely convenient. Very nice. And you'll notice on the side, very simple lever opening up the compartment, and this is where you have your filter bag. So this is what you will change from time to time as this gets full from emptying out the main vacuum. And that's actually a real nice setup. Very similar to kind of like a robotic vacuum. If you've ever used one of those, it's an extremely similar setup. Again, basic and easy. And just an impression, I do like the combination. The color combination of this is really cool. I like how everything has the gray main color, black accents, bronzy, kind of copper actually, more like a copper accent. It's just a good look. Connecting the wand, you can see it does index in one particular direction with that connector going into the bottom. Nice solid click, robust. The battery slides right in top. It's a D shape, so there's only one way that can go. And you'll see the tabs, that presses into place firmly. It is just a little bit stout getting it back out. You need to pinch with your thumb and your finger, pinch, and it's got a little bit of kind of like a suction there, but it will come out. It's just a little bit tight, and that'll click right in. And you'll notice if you pay attention, you still have access on the bottom to plug in that charging cable if you want to charge the battery directly while it's in the unit. Now in terms of connecting an attachment, again, this will only go one way as you have the connectors on the bottom, clicking into place nicely. Power button, very convenient, right on the handle. Ooh. Suction modes. Eco, standard, boost, power off. So once the filter is full, it's going to be fairly simple. There's a button right on the bottom here. Press that button and that will release this entire cup. And then from there, you have your filter assembly right on top. And actually, as you reach in, there's this little tab, and that's a handle. That pulls right out, and you can clean this out if you need to. You can actually unlatch the bottom, which is pretty straightforward. There's a button there. Unlatch that bottom, and you can flip this open. That might help you kind of clean things out. You don't necessarily have to do that if you want to clean everything out from here. Get all the contents out. So your HEPA filter literally just comes right out of the top. And then this is, stainless steel seemingly, plastic. This whole thing can be cleaned very easily. I like how everything is D-shaped. So it indexes like very specifically. There's only one way these things can go. So it's very easy to work on this and maintain it. Very intuitive, extremely simple, and everything goes together very quick and easy. So my initial impression of this is awesome. I think this is going to be great, and maintenance, in my opinion, does go a long way.
Now, I temporarily have this in my living room, but it will eventually move. This is just a place where I can stage it, to test it, practice, and show you that this does consume a very small area. In fact, you'll notice I have this kind of shelf here with pictures on it, and then just a real tight space between the shelf and the wall, and that will fit down accessories and all, no problem. So this does not take up much space at all. As long as you have power, you're good. We'll give this a good full charge overnight. You can see this clicks automatically cleaning itself out. That was kind of wild. Check this out. We're going to do it again. But watch the filter. You can see it squeegees itself clean twice. That's super cool. That's going to be very effective. What a nice machine.
And that little trap door on the bottom I was talking about is what allows this to evacuate itself down into the rest of the machine. This is a fantastic setup. So you're going to see what I'm up against. I have 2 dogs, Australian Shepherds, and they rip their toys to bits every day. They leave strings, stuffing, you'll see fur balls. There is literally fur everywhere. And if I don't vacuum daily, I end up with just tumbleweeds of fur all over the place. This is one day. And you can see in the tight areas, like hard to reach places, it just accumulates so fast. So I need the wand to get in and reach these little areas, all the crevices, my stairs, down into my vents, around their dog bowls, under the beds, down all my hallways. And there they are. What you doing, girls? That's thing 1. And thing 2. Hey, silly girls, you making a mess? Yeah, why don't you leave me some more fur? And so the vacuum wand really is my first line of defense. And then on a daily basis, at least once a day, upstairs and downstairs, I have robotic vacuums that just do their thing. Not only do these vacuum, but they mop. And so getting all the tight crevices and keeping on top of this, it is a regular chore, but made easy with good tools. So how will the wand perform? Let's find out. Seems to be fully charged now. My dogs are probably going to come attack me. They hate vacuums. Fairly lightweight. You can see I got the brush attachment. Just going to run this on standard.
Now when it comes to performance, the V500 has around 2,500 pascals of suction, which is fairly substantial. Now keep in mind the fact that I have around 1,600 square feet of trouble areas. I'm talking about the corners, the edges, underneath tight areas.
Works well. Let's see how this goes. Oh yeah.
But I'm not really using this generally around the entire floor. So Uwant does report that you get around 40 minutes of maximum runtime with around 2,100 or 2,200 square feet of coverage.
All these tight little areas. Nice brush attachment. Safe for the floor. Gets right in there. Here's another one of my trouble spots.
Now I did find that running this on the full suction mode, being that kind of turbo mode, really did limit my overall capabilities, but running it on the standard mode, it was about perfect.
Simple. Leave it, please. Like, what are you doing?
This has a lightweight body, so it's very easy to manage, and has a 5-level filtration.
Look at this one. Tumbleweed. So gross. I let the fur build up for 2 days for this video, just to see how this performed. Let's go to high now. Yeah. There we go. Now we're cooking.
A HEPA filter, dust cap filtration, sponge filter at the air outlet, conical filtration, and a stainless steel filter mesh. Couple that with the fact that it's self-cleaning, and this is a fantastic unit. This has a 2,000 milliamp hour battery, the dust cup roughly 0.4 liters, and then the bag in the charging station has a 1.8 liter capacity.
Hard to reach areas, simple, no problem. You can even get your windowsills. Simple. Tight areas behind the bed. Good reach. Simple. Got these ceiling vents. These are also returns. Nice to have the ability just to keep that clean. It's all stuff that otherwise would go right into my heating system. So I just keep up with it. Way better. Simple.
And that is the end. I ran this mostly on boost just to try it. And just to say, this literally only lasted me pretty much like my living room area that I showed you, the staircase, my bedroom, which included the bathroom, a little bit of the upstairs hall, and those vents. That does not last a long time. So you got to be careful on boost. So I have to now charge this, and we'll go from there. At least this room is complete. So, I mean, fairly small, but one room complete. And look at all that garbage in there. Disgusting. That was otherwise just floating around my house. So let's see what happens here. Ooh, did it good. Yeah. Looks like it did a nice job.
Now, apart from the general house cleaning, I wanted to use this for a little bit of a more rugged task. Here you can see I'm cleaning up a construction project that I have going on. I have some particles of drywall, and this can be tough, especially on filters. The very fine particles can really clog a filter fast, and so I thought this would be a great opportunity to test this out and see how it performed. So the V500 handled it well, and I like the fact that you can actually take the attachments, remove the central section of the wand, and really shorten this down to a compact unit. I'm in a tight area up on a little storage mezzanine, so my ability to actually get in here in the first place was very difficult, but the fact that I could actually use this in this capacity was great. Now you can see it did struggle just a little bit with some particles and clogging up the filter a bit.
So you can see on the cleaning cycle, it actually left that trap door open and didn't clean everything out. So it's going to need a little bit of manual cleaning to get all that out of there. So it's not perfect, but still pretty good.
So now taking a look at the V500 against that competitor that I showed you at the very beginning. Now, both of these are fairly effective. However, what I can tell you, the V500, in my opinion, is definitely worth at least, I'm going to say, a little more money. Keep in mind the fact that the V500 is pretty much about triple the price of what you see here. This is a fairly cheap kind of Amazon.com style. Not a bad little stick vacuum here. But the fact is, first off, I have to literally dig stuff out of here by hand. That kind of sucks. I mean, it doesn't bother me a ton, but it's the reality that I need to dig things out of here by hand. Second is, well, you know, I can plug this in, and that's all cool. Just needs a simple power cord. That's not a big deal. But then I have a power cord kind of, you know, flopping around, and again, not a big deal. But what I can tell you about the V500, I love the fact that this is auto-emptying. That's been fantastic. I don't touch anything. It's super effective. Works very easy. The base station, I actually do like the fact that there's a nice contained base station. It keeps this topped off all the time without me needing to plug it in. That's another great feature. And when it comes down to the attachments, they're kind of similar. If you take a look here and, you know, as I turn this on, you can see the green light. That green light is all the rage these days, but the brush, not nearly as nice. In fact, it's not even as wide. And so you want higher quality construction overall and a little bit wider. And then these wheels aren't quite as nice. You know, the Uwant wheels have rubber on them, so they're smooth. They're not going to mar your finish. You know, here these plastic wheels are just a little cheap and clunky. So the Uwant fit and finish It's just much, much nicer. It's higher quality plastics. It's better coatings on the wheels, nicer brushes, actual like brushes. You know, the competitor here, this is kind of just almost like a felt. And it's a little bit coarse even at that. Whereas this is a nice, soft, rounded brush, has an excellent shape, does a great job to pick up all the debris, and the light quality is fantastic. Not to mention, on top of it, the battery life. So this can get me, I'd say kind of on the medium mode, pretty much through my entire house for the most part. But that's also the case with the Uwant. And the Uwant, again, well, I can just keep this topped off by plugging it in, and it's extremely easy. And I find this just in general to be a nicer quality construction. So all in all, I do have to say I like this. Now, another thing to talk about real briefly, when I got the competitor, well, immediately my brush snapped and I had to beg them to send me another one. It was a pain in the neck. And it's just cheap and kind of, I don't know, it just doesn't feel quality. This I don't believe will break. It's like a denser plastic and just not as rattly and rickety. This is like just kind of, I don't know, it's just chintzy feeling. So on top of all of this, the attachments, much, much nicer from Uwant. And a final point to consider, I have the back end of both of these completely in alignment, and you can see that the Uwant is actually about 7 full inches longer than the competitor, and that is key for me. I'm 6 feet tall, and so I am actually bent over a little bit with this particular vacuum, whereas the Uwant, I'm standing upright and it's more comfortable. So take that into consideration. I do personally believe that the U500, it's worth the extra money to get the quality, the overall construction, and the ability for this to stay charged and self-empty. And so, all right, guys, there you have it. A look at the V500. Again, just awesome. And as I mentioned, a couple of different modes, but using that middle mode, I can do almost everything I need to do. I do sometimes need a little more power. I can turn it up. The battery life won't quite be there, but at the same time, you get a little more suction. Now, another place where this would be absolutely fantastic to clean your vehicle. If you're somebody who, again, has that outdoor lifestyle and you're dragging mud and debris into your car, into your truck, into your vehicle. Maybe you have dogs and they're leaving fur or mud, debris, all the little things that come into the car. When you're done with your outdoor experience, this would be another great way to go. And it is so configurable. That's a nice thing. Like, for example, I don't even need to use, the middle stick of the wand. I mean, I can really just get this nice and down to a very small and manageable unit. Suck the cracks in my car seats or the carpet on the floor. Very effective. So I can say I highly recommend this. If you liked what you see here, do me a favor, look in the description box below. Find your own Uwant products. Whenever possible, I put discount codes, affiliate links, and at least find your way to these products, so check the description box below. To the people at Uwant, thank you so much for providing this full review. And for the rest of you, if you like this content, do me a favor, check out the rest of my Outer Limitless family of channels, not just here on Outer Limitless, hiking, camping, backpacking, outdoor experiences, Outer Limitless 2, which covers the tactical and firearm side of things, Outer Limitless Blades, which is all the sharp and pointy things, and Outer Limitless Lights, which covers EDC lights, headlamps, indoor, outdoor lighting, you name it. That's the Outer Limitless family of channels. So all right, guys, thanks for stopping by. Take care now. I'll see you soon.